I've posted a photo of my life every day for over 11 years now. And by the end of this video, I think I'm going to try and figure out whether or not I'm going to quit. So, a little forewarning, this was a really emotional week for me for a whole handful of reasons, not least of which was trying to figure this out. So, just see how it pans out. Came around the corner there. I was like, I'm pretty sure I've been on this corner really drunk once. Oh, sorry, buddy. Oh, no. We gotta work on our communication skills, man. He keeps, saute to lactose. He wants to lick it, but he actually just did. You like the beer at the bottom? I'm in Amsterdam right now because, well, for one, I've been craving a trip to Amsterdam for a long time. Like really craving a trip to Amsterdam. I just like this city. I feel it's a good vibe. I just feel chill and at home here in a way that I feel in Paris as well. I don't know what it is. Have a good time here. I'm definitely thinking like I need to spend more time here, to be honest. But the reason that I'm here is because the ship that I used to live on, well, not the one that I used to live on, but the organization that ran the ship that I used to live on, hospital ship that I volunteered on in West Africa for a number of years. They have a brand new ship. It's docked in Rotterdam, which is only about 40 minutes away from here. And I have some friends there who I promised I'd come see if the ship made it here. Turns out I have a lot of friends there right now. And it seems like the perfect moment to sit and think about whether or not I really want to keep doing this photo a day thing. And that's because when I started doing the photo a day, it was on that ship, on that other ship, when I started with Mercy Ships. I was in South Africa. I was as far away from home as I'd ever been, the opposite hemisphere, literally, from where I'd lived my entire life. And I wanted to keep my family and friends apprised as to what I was doing back home. I also wanted to have some sort of like a daily discipline or routine because I knew that I wasn't going to be very good at journaling. Never been a very good journaler, although I've gotten a little bit better about that. And I like taking photos. I like sharing them. And so it seemed like a really good way to accomplish all that at once. My family could make sure that I was alive every day, being so far away. See kind of what I was up to. The thing about having a dog, somehow I spill more stuff in my pants than I did when I didn't have a dog, and it just gives him more reason to lick me in weird and inappropriate places. What are you doing, buddy? Anyways, am I gonna keep doing this or not? I don't know. I keep going back and forth. Scoop! Just realized that I left the other half of my microphone set up in the Airbnb, and we've been walking for quite a while. It's his first international trip as well, so we might as well just talk about that for a second. And the puppy report is that he did pretty well. He's, you wanna come up here? Slept pretty well. It was his first time sleeping anywhere but my apartment since I've gotten him, so the last 6 weeks. He's just gonna literally snuggle in here on the street. He's tired, he's very tired. So I was gonna set up a really nice shot here and like walk in and talk to the camera, but sort of need the receiver for the microphone to work. Also, would you stop licking my chest? He just loves licking my shirt when he's tired. It's, I don't know if it's teething or thirst or what, but it's kind of weird. But I haven't had lunch yet, so we'll do that. We'll figure it out from there. It's a good Airbnb. I like it. We're on our second to last day. Leaving tomorrow, we're gonna go see the ship today, finally. And I will say that traveling by myself, it's one of the things I don't want to do anymore anyways. Like, I want to travel with friends as much as possible, and even traveling to see friends, not quite the same. Just juggling all this, trying to still get some work done, still film, see people, travel between cities, and take care of this guy. Feeding, training, wiping eye goobers off. Where'd that eye goober? That's a new eye goober. They just keep coming. And anyways, I'm just feeling a little bit tired. We slept a little bit better last night than the night before. Yeah, I mean, it's a rite of passage. I feel like doing all this by myself is its own rite of passage. Yeah, but tired. The Africa Mercy, which is the ship that I lived on a decade ago. Wow, this tram is far more exciting than I would expect a tram to be. Change here for the tram. Let's wait till we get off this thing. What I was going to say on the tram before that automated voice so rudely interrupted me repeatedly was that I remember the first time I saw the ship. I didn't even see it right away when I got to South Africa. And I don't even know if I'd seen it by the time that I started my photo of the day project. I'm pretty sure I captured that early on, and I need to go look because I haven't opened Facebook in years, and I don't know. I got to go look up the history on that one. But it was quite an emotional thing. It was really exciting. I'd been working up to joining the organization through my training and fundraising and, traveling and everything else for a really long time before the point that I actually ever even saw the ship itself that I was going to live on for the next few years. And I remember seeing it for the first time. It was really, really powerfully emotional, really exciting and strong. This time around, I'm not so sure about seeing this new one, what it's going to be like, because my emotions are a lot more mixed about the organization than they were when I started. I was very, hopeful and definitely thought, oh yeah, this is going to be a great thing. It's going to be a great experience going in. And it was a very good experience, but definitely left me burned out and scarred and, with a lot more questions than answers, really. This poor little sleepy puppy, just needs a nap so badly. And speaking of emotional experiences, I've noticed through this whole thing, I'm having quite an experience all around. Traveling with this little guy, and let me just look at this. Nonsense. Carrying this doggy diaper bag around, which he broke the strap again. I've gone through 2 straps now that have gotten snapped. You're so small and light, and yet just not quite light enough, I guess. I'm kind of dealing with a lot right now. This is like a 10-year anniversary in a way. Like I joined Mercy Ships in 2010, the end of 2010. I quit in 2014. It seems like such a seminal, massive chapter of my life that, I mean, it is, and it was, but it feels so much closer than it actually is. There's so many other life chapters that have happened in between. Not meaning to plug my book, but if you want to know more about the whole thing about how I ended up joining a hospital ship in West Africa, it's a part of the story of how I ended up here in Europe and Paris as a whole. Grab that book, Sea of the Unknown. It's a good book. I'm proud of it. I think I did a good job writing it. There's a whole confluence of things right now, and at the end of those kinds of chapters, it feels like the end of a version of myself that's really coming to a wrap. This feels like a goodbye for me, going and seeing this ship. I almost don't even want to do it, to be honest. They were talking about hiring me to come vlog on it to help with recruitment and so forth, which I actually felt fairly conflicted about. I don't know. I told them I was going to be honest about it. Like, if you want to volunteer on an organization like Mercy Ships, definitely do it short term, try it out, see what it's like. But the organization itself doesn't really treat its people very well, and I don't trust them to handle people very well long term. So while I think the work that they do is very good and the results they get are amazing and impressive, I also think that it's a little bit risky for anyone to just haphazardly, I have to hold on a second here, to haphazardly just push people to go and do it without at least some fair warning. And the fact that they didn't want to work with me in the end, there were some staffing changes and stuff. It worked out, I think, for the better. But now it leaves me in this place where it's like, okay, cool, we're gonna walk about 15 minutes from here, go see it for the first time. Assuming they let him on board, I'll go get a tour. I'll show you a couple of highlights, might let you know what I think as we go. But I kind of don't even want to do that. It feels like a very private, personal moment to go see this new ship where I lived on the old ship, see some people that I haven't seen in a long time, have some conversations, and say goodbye to an old version of myself that is no longer around. Something that we've talked about a little bit recently here on this channel, something that I'm going to dive into deeper in the future on my second channel, maybe if I ever get around to finally launching that, or in other videos. But either way, I'm a little bit surprised. I felt a little bit overwhelmed, and I thought that the overwhelmed feeling was just because I was traveling internationally with this guy for the first time. But I'm realizing that it's because I've got the end of that chapter, and then he is overwhelming. Like, this is a new chapter for me too, to have somebody that's reliant on me, that I'm responsible for. Coming out of a global pandemic, war in Ukraine, which is terrible, and I've been sharing some links from friends in Ukraine on Instagram, but I'll make sure to post one or two below this video too if you're looking for a way to support Ukraine. I've just been in direct talks with people that I actually know that are there and trying to support them directly, so that's been more about how I've been approaching that. But there's just a lot going on. There's a lot to make this just kind of a crazy experience. Huh, buddy? And then you just have to like pack it up. And like doing this alone too, this has definitely highlighted the fact that like I do want a partner. Like I'm really happy being single. I like my life like this, but yeah, having a girlfriend would, I mean, that's not a good reason to have a girlfriend to get help with your dog. I'm not saying that, but it would be really nice just to be able to hand them off every once in a while, which is why it's good that I have friends. I'll start using my friends more to do that. Like I have so many offers to babysit. I'm gonna start taking people up on that. I really wanted a shot with these sailboats in the background, but I figured that it would be kind of blown out. Also, I didn't realize that this entire table was going to shift as soon as I sat down. Yikes. Huh, buddy? Yikes. So in the midst of all that, I'm thinking about wrapping. I mean, that's why it feels like it's kind of coming around full circle. It feels like the perfect way to bring things to a close. If I'm going to stop posting a photo a day, which I started, when I started with this organization, multiple chapters of life ago, I've already crossed that boundary as far as like, I've done it for over a decade. There were many opportunities to close it down at a seminal moment before where it felt like numerically at least it was, noteworthy to do it. But now it feels like maybe this is the right time to do it just because I'm not that person anymore. The only reason I'm still doing it really is because of the discipline of it. And I would regret quitting it and then, regretting it. And I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I also don't think it will. I think if I'm just done with it, it's a thing that I did. It's an accomplishment in and of itself. And also it's a recognition that nobody ultimately really cares. Like, it doesn't really matter. When I started doing it, I hoped that it would add some level of significance to what I was doing, that there would be, I don't know, almost an aura around it, if I'm being honest. Like, I thought, okay, if I do this thing, maybe it'll draw not attention so much as like a sense, not of validity, but of weight, not authority, but in a way that it would validate what I was doing. That if I documented it, crazy life, traveling the world, going to dozens of countries. And I mean, it's really cool to see how I've documented so much of my life, and it is really nice to go back and look through. And so that in and of itself is really cool, and I want to maintain that. I mean, that's why I miss daily vlogging too. I loved being able to look back on my life day by day, see what I did, what I ate, who I was with, all of that. But I think there's a way of doing that still, being mindful and stopping and taking a photo or some video in a moment specifically for that reason, instead of just taking a photo every day to take a photo. Because there are days where I just have to stay home and work all day, and then I just got to go out and get a photo just to get a photo to keep the project alive. And that's when it feels inauthentic. And I mean, it's nice to have the discipline, but I think what I'd rather do from here on out is look at a moment, be mindful of it, and say, I want to capture this in a photo, which is something that I'm actually less mindful, believe it or not, of those moments because I've been doing this for so long. And that's what I'd rather capture. So I'm struggling, both a little bit of sleep deprivation because of this guy. The travel is a little extra stressful. Also because it's just, I feel like I'm at a turning point in my life, weirdly enough. Even though so much of my life seems set and stable and so good and so healthy, there's an element of it that feels like times are changing. I don't know. I gotta change with them. I'll still post on Instagram and stuff, don't worry. For those of you that have been really worried that I would stop posting from Paris and so forth, I'll still post. I think I'll be a little bit more intentional about it. It's hard to stop though. It's still really hard to actually fully stop doing this. You're not helping stop. This is what I'm talking about. I'm trying to film and the dog won't stop licking my hand, but if I leave him on the table by himself, he's gonna fall off the table or do something really stupid. I tried leaving him. Anyways, you just gotta figure out how to deal with this stuff. He's a puppy for a lot longer. Yeah, you're really cute. And sleepy. Yeah, you need to sleep. It's such a pain in the ass. I think I see it through the trees here. Looks very familiar. Oh, I do see it. Dang, this thing is big. the ship is significantly bigger than the old one. There's a lot of interesting stuff that we could probably talk about this, but holy smokes. Look at that. This is not where I used to live, but it is very reminiscent. Jeez, this thing's huge. Wow. Wow. Jeez. Wow. The first ever purpose-built hospital ship. Just in case you're curious, there are a lot of other hospital ships in the world, mostly in navies, but they're always repurposed from something else, like an oil tanker. It's the first time a hospital ship has ever been built as a hospital ship from the ground up. Which is looking at it, the size and the shape of it, it probably doesn't look remotely remarkable to any of you, so I will minimize how much we go over the shippiness. But it's pretty nuts. It's nuts. It's cool. It's cool to see. I'm glad to see it. Makes me happy to see it. Since I was talking about the emotional stuff, it does make me happy to see it. And again, even if I have my own struggles and issues with the organization itself, the work they do, and the results they get tend to be pretty solid. And I'm definitely very proud of my friends who have put their work in here. So I think that's the most important part. I'll continue to work through my own conflicted feelings over time. But for the moment, let's see if we can get on board with this guy and go for a tour. I forgot to get an antigen test before I came, but thankfully they have them here for us, which is really nice. Just do a little test, wait, and then we'll go on board. I'll definitely show you. I'm excited to see the ship, so I'm looking forward to sharing some of this with you, and we'll just see how it all turns out. Thanks for coming along with me. And Cooper's being great. Look at him, just hanging out, waiting for my test to come back. What a good boy. Hey, are you a good boy? You are a good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Good. The ship I lived on was this one. And I don't know if you can tell from the model, but it is it's a big ship, but not that big. Oh, God.
Welcome to Global Mercy, and welcome to Rotterdam.
My name is Mark Shrine. I am a head and neck cancer surgeon by training.
Knock him dead, Tiger. Oh, that's a good look.
Hello. Calling. Help. Help. We got ourselves into a bit of a mess.
What are we doing?
Mind if I film in here? Training in Nate's cabin. Okay, take it. Good boy. Yeah. Oh, buddy. Just gonna come for me, huh? Sit. Good man. Stay. Okay, come here. Good boy. Good boy. He's down below the. I was gonna get a good shot of them all together with. Because did you see Cooper was on his lap there for a minute? Where'd he go? He's on the ground.
What was his name? No?
Cooper. Yeah. actually know what the answer is. I actually went straight to therapy. I've gone to therapy a couple times the last month. Just starting it up a little bit because of the dog and, you know, trying to figure out so many, I don't know, just back to figuring out some questions about life, where I'm at. Surprisingly, she said it sounds like I need a big change in my life, like I need a dramatic change, which I kind of thought the dog already was, to be honest. But especially in looking at my time with mercy ships in West and Central Africa and the high adrenaline life and death stakes of what we were doing and what my life regularly looked like to what it looks like now, which is very, it was rough. It was not easy going from mercy ships to where I am now. I had a very, very hard time of it. But now I'm in a place where I feel good, secure, and there's no adrenaline like there used to be in my life. I don't know how to solve that. She didn't have a suggestion. It was out of character. It was definitely different for her to speak up like that. But it also held some truth. And I don't know what's next. I don't know what to do about that. But I do know that I need to make some changes. I've been making a lot of changes. Apparently I need more changes. And it's really hard for me to stop posting the photo of the day. 4,100 photos in feels like something that I could just keep doing for the rest of my life, but it begs the question, why? And maybe something we'll dig into later. Maybe we'll do a post-mortem someday. Maybe I'll tell the story itself of what it was like to post a photo every day for 11 years. I don't know, that might just be the story. That might just be it. That I was disciplined in taking and posting a photo every day. That I only ever cheated a couple of times on my rules, which were that I would post a photo that I took on that day, even if I had to wait a day or two to post it because of internet issues or something like that. And I never missed a day. And that's an accomplishment in and of itself. But life goes on. My life will continue. And it doesn't matter whether or not I post a photo about it every day. And I don't know, I've been thinking about quitting it for a long time and restarting. And it's scary. Quitting something like this is scary. I've been very deeply committed to it for a really long time. And maybe I won't be brave enough to quit right away. So if you go over to Instagram, maybe you'll see that I'm still posting it for a few days. But I think I'll just be done. Anyways, thanks for watching. It's a weird, emotional, like so much coming at me with the mercy ship stuff, traveling with the dog, all the different things going on. There's a lot going on in life right now. A lot of good stuff, but some challenging things. Just weird timing for me to be thinking about doing this, I suppose. But, you know, I thought, hey, it started with the ship. Might as well end with another ship. And just go from there. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever it is you are. I will see you bright and early one of these days, sometime soon. And thanks to today's patron producer, Scottymac, my most recent patron as of this posting. Glad to have you on board. Glad to have all of you on board. And yeah, I'm hopefully gonna get some sleep this weekend, but I have a lot of reflecting to do and some exciting stuff coming up that I'll share with you soon. I'll see you for that. Adios.